At this point in time, I'd like to call this meeting of the Middlesex County Board of Chosen Freeholders to order. Please rise for a moment of silence. I would ask that in your prayers you pray for the Rutgers football player Eric LeGrand, who is a resident of Avenel and was seriously injured during Saturday's game against Army. Salute to the flag. Dennis.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Notice of this meeting pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act, NJSA 10:4-10, has been complied with and shall be entered into the minutes of this meeting.
Roll call.
Freeholder Barrett.
Here.
Freeholder Delina.
Here.
Freeholder Polos.
I'm here, and as I mentioned to the director, I have a presentation to make, freeholder presentation tonight at around 7:45, so I'll be leaving the meeting a little bit early.
Freeholder Rios.
Here.
Freeholder Scott.
Here.
Freeholder Valenti.
Here.
Freeholder Director Rufano.
Here. At this point in time, I'd like to recognize East Brunswick Mayor Dave Stahl to speak about Resolution 10-1776 and 10-1779. Mayor.
Thank you, Director, members of the board. If you don't mind, I'm going to speak from here.
Okay.
Hopefully the audience can hear as well. I'll try to speak loudly so that everyone can hear me. I'm here on behalf of the residents of East Brunswick to seek the board's support on two very important projects in East Brunswick. The first one being the acquisition of the Porter Farm, which is a farm that is located off Freeman Avenue. It borders Farmington Lake. There was an application before the planning board that would have created 11 building lots, 12 homes, and one lot for the water retention basin. This is a neighborhood of long-term residents that would be directly impacted by this new development, in that the township has a paper street that would have gone directly into the existing neighborhood, somewhat impacting the quality of life of that neighborhood. In addition, as you can see here, this is Farmington Lake. Provide further protection to that lake, as we know, which is a water resource for New Brunswick, so it's good for the environment as well. As Mr. Allen indicated, with respect to the open space, it fits within the county's continuous search for open space. It fits within the plan along the lake, so I think it's a perfect acquisition. There is a farm that has been used, will be continued to be allowed to be farmed. There's going to be carving out of a 2-acre parcel, which will allow for the farm, the family that's been there, to maintain the farm and the farm buildings. So it's a perfect fit for the farming community, as well as I said, for the East Brunswick. So, that's for the farm.
Any questions on the for the mayor? I'm sorry.
If I could also take a few minutes of the board's time.
Absolutely.
The second request from East Brunswick dealing with the neighborhood park in Pine Ridge. That is a park that's actually pretty difficult in terms of from an engineering standpoint. It's a multi-level park. We have taken down the park equipment that the children would play on because, quite frankly, it was no longer ADA compliant, nor did it even meet the specifications of the Consumer Product Safety Commission. So we have dismantled that playground equipment for well over 2 years, leaving the neighborhood children with no place to play with that type of equipment. There's a baseball field there, a couple tennis courts, as well as a handball court. Starting back with Mayor Neary, there was outreaches to the community as to what they wanted their neighborhood park to look like. And that took many months to hear from the residents. And the result is a conceptual plan that will allow for the reconstruction, obviously, of the baseball field, the tennis courts. It was the feelings of the residents in that community that they no longer wanted a handball court, would love to see a 3/4 size basketball court. In addition, the playground area, which had been located on the top level, which was very difficult for people to reach and families to reach, is now going to be moved down to the lower level. So the playground area, as well as a new pavilion, will actually sit out in the outfield like bleachers. So this way the families, when their children are playing baseball, t-ball, have the opportunity to take their younger children, playing kind of behind the scenes, and they will keep track of the whole family and enjoy the whole experience. We have included in our capital budget some funds for this project with the help of the freeholders, and some addition, quite frankly, in my 2011 capital budget I'll present to the council. We'll be able to get this project done. It's my goal pending your approval tonight, to have our engineers complete the bid specifications so we go out to bid on the winter months and hit the ground running in the spring so we got some use of this next summer.
Okay, great. Any questions of the mayor? Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you very much.
Okay, at this time, I would ask the board to consider Resolution 10-1776. I will open the public portion as to Resolution 10-1776 only. Anybody from the public?
Motion to close.
Second.
Motion by Deputy Director Rios, seconded by Freeholder Valente. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. I need a motion to adopt Resolution number 10-1776.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Deputy Director Rios, seconded by Freeholder Valente. Roll call, please.
Freeholder Barrett,
Yes.
Freeholder Delina,
Yes.
Freeholder Polos.
Yes.
Freeholder Rios,
Yes.
Freeholder Scott,
Yes.
Freeholder Valenti,
Yes.
Freeholder Director Rapano.
Yes. At this time, I ask the board to consider Resolution 10-1779, and I open up to the public on Resolution 1779 only. Anyone from the public?
Motion to close.
Second.
Motion by Deputy Director Rios, seconded by Freeholder Valente. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. I need a motion to adopt Resolution number 10-1779.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Deputy Director Rios, seconded by Freeholder Valente. Roll call.
Freeholder Barrett,
Yes.
Freeholder Delina,
Yes.
Freeholder Polos,
Yes.
Freeholder Rios,
Yes.
Freeholder Scott,
Yes.
Freeholder Valenti,
Yes.
Freeholder Director Rapano.
Yes. Yes, Mayor?
Director, I want to thank the entire board for their support, and particularly Freeholder Delina, since he's a diehard Giant fan, me being a diehard Phillies fan. I appreciate the support. Thank you.
I still like you, but call me.
Thank you, Director.
Thank you, Mayor. At this time, I'd like to recognize Dr. Molnar, President of the American Hungarian Foundation. Dr. Molnar?
I'm particularly excited and to speak to the freeholders tonight because each year the Board of Freeholders has been recognizing the kind of work the American Hungarian Foundation has been doing. Now here in New Brunswick and extending our service to wider and wider areas. We have, the American Hungarian Foundation as such has a history of 55 years, and when we reached 50 years, the foundation published, not in the 50th year, but a book, The Hungarian Legacy in America. And I would like very much that to present a copy to the Board of Freeholders, but also individually. I did not bring a copy because they're heavy books, and we will get one to all of the members. And one of the other things that has happened this year in the American Hungarian Foundation, that is that I've asked our board to consider the fact that I'm getting up in years, and there ought to be somebody else continuing this particular job that I've been doing now 55 years. And maybe some of the members of the Board of Freeholders have seen the magazine on which I was a cover boy, and I brought copies of that along with me, and so I'd like to share that with you. So there are two magazines in American Hungarian life. One of them is the William Penn Life magazine, and the other is Fraternity. And I made it to William Penn Life on the cover, and it was a very interesting interview that the editor had one of his. Actually, it was his wife who did the interview and wrote the story, and in about 10 pages. So I have that here, and which now kind of brings to a conclusion my presidency at the American Hungarian Foundation in September of the year, and I was hoping to be able to introduce you to the executive director who takes on some of the role that I've played in the foundation, Greg Haidu Nemeth, a young attorney who's giving half of his time to the foundation. And he's at home and in bed with a fever. And we didn't want to spread the germs around. But there will be a time that you will be able to meet him. Some of you, I'm sure, know him already. He's been a part of New Brunswick, as the family has been a part of New Brunswick. And I particularly want to thank you for the grant that each year, through the Commission on Cultural and Heritage that is led by your distinguished freeholder, Stephen Delina, and then also by the Executive Director, Anna Ashkenaz. And we've been a part of that whole plan to be able to say that has spread the culture of the Hungarian people, but also in New Brunswick, but also to spread the culture of all groups. And one of the, I think, prime examples where we bring various cultures together in the month of December and January to New Brunswick and to the Museum of the Foundation is the Festival of Trees, where we have at least 13 to 14 trees decorated in different traditions, including, that is, from representatives from Hungary send us decorations from three, and two of our Japanese sister cities send, and then also our Irish friends also has decorated a tree. And then, of course, from the community, various churches and others decorate a tree. One of the most looked at and observed and applauded exhibits that the foundation now has brought to New Brunswick for 21 years. This will be the 21st year of the Festival of Trees. We invite you, one and all, with families, because it's the little ones come, and then some of us older ones also come too, along with the rest of New Brunswick. And the culture comes to meet there in the first Sunday of December. Welcome, and you've been supporting the foundation and its work now for many, many years. I hesitate to the number of years. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
One and all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now we're going to have a PowerPoint presentation on the emergency notification system by Khalid.
Thank you, Director.
Welcome.
Good evening, freeholders. I stand before you today to talk about what we are doing to enhance the public communication system throughout Middlesex County, the greatest county in the land. What we are doing, freeholders, essentially is that we intend to strengthen the emergency response services that we have right now. And the way we intend to do that is to improve the existing emergency notification that we have by acquiring a new system through the county's Homeland Security Program and make it available to the 25 municipalities in a shared services agreement. Now, this is very unique in a way in that it not only provides the complete application for the county's use, but individually segregates the application for use by the municipalities, which in itself is a very big thing, because to split the county into 25 municipalities and have them use it individually is a tremendous task to accomplish by itself. Now, the way we intend to do this, freeholders, is to provide a state-of-the-art tool to the county and the municipalities so that they're able to effectively notify their residents during emergencies, the non-emergencies, floods, fires, water conditions, water advisories, road closures, and so on and so forth. Additionally, freeholders, the application has two components. One is that it has the ability to do a list-based notification, which is when you call out just the first responders. You can just call out the first responders, very efficient, can be done in a flash. Or you can do a mass notification by using a map-based notification system. So this is a very robust system that we plan to introduce. Now, really how this all translates and provides the benefits for freeholders is that it inherently increases the call-out rate. What we had before was we were able to do 2,000 calls an hour. It takes a lot of hours to cover some towns. Now, you're essentially going to be able to make several thousand calls in a minute. Now, that's efficiency. And the way that is accomplished is by enhancing from a 48-line system to a 36,000-line system. That is the level of improvement that is being brought to the system. And that essentially is being facilitated by advances in technology and the county being ahead of the curve and taking advantage of it. So the technology presents a cost-effective way of delivering service, and the county is there taking advantage of it. And that's essentially what we are trying to do. In addition, freeholders, the system will have the ability to make unlimited calls and provide unlimited text messages. Now, additionally, then this is a very unique feature that the residents will appreciate, and that is that people will now be able to enter their contact information through a web interface over the internet. Now, this is important because, as you all know, many people have internet-based phones, Vonage and this and Skype and all kinds of things, which are not really listed phone numbers. And those numbers cannot be harvested in any way. And there are people that have unlisted numbers. So these individuals will have the opportunity to provide their contact information, their email addresses, and any other mechanism by which they would want emergency staff to be able to get in touch with them. That's a very, very important feature as well. And another unique feature is, again, as I said previously, that each town will have autonomy in controlling how they use this system. Now, just to summarize, freeholders, this is all basically driven by the board. What this translates to is a better working mechanism. You always emphasize work smart. You say work efficiently. You say reduce costs. You say work smart. And this is what we are really doing by taking on this new initiative. So, and additionally, we are standardizing the messaging across the county. We are setting standards. We are saving money. And we are providing more efficient way of communicating with the residents. So at the next meeting of your board, you will have an item on the agenda to vote on this initiative. And shortly after you approve it, very soon this will be up and running for the benefit of the residents of the county and the municipalities. Thank you.
Thank you, Khalid. Anybody have any questions of Khalid at this point? Thank you, Khalid.
Thank you, sir.
And now the County Clerk, Elaine Flynn, has a presentation regarding e-filing.
Good evening, everyone. I just want to tell Dr. Molnar that Pete and I have one disagreement. Who makes the best stuffed cabbage, Hungarians or the Polish? We still haven't decided.
I can't make a statement.
Anyway, good evening. I've been waiting for a long time to get this finally accomplished, and we, at this date, have it done. Here we are, e-filing. I am pleased to announce that on today's agenda, the freeholders are considering a shared services agreement with Monmouth County to host an electronic filing system through my office. This is one of the final steps in a fully modernized service and making them more convenient for our residents. To date, we have millions of pages of deeds and mortgages and other instruments dating back to 1950 in our system available on the internet. We have the most years back than any county in the state. I have been working with the county clerk of Monmouth, Claire French, for many months to make this happen. All right. This will enable subscribers e-filing, such as banks, law firms, mortgage lenders, and title companies, to send, receive, and track their records and real estate filings through an internet portal. There are no additional fees for this convenience. We are implementing e-filing to better serve Middlesex County businesses who can conduct business and communicate with us without leaving their office. The new system will bring greater efficiency to the clerk's office, since my staff will not have to input each additional filing that we get. We can now concentrate on verifying it, processing and approving the filing, which means a quicker turnaround time. It will cut down labor costs because duties such as data entry, document scanning, managing rejections, and customer service calls will be reduced. We will continue to accept manual filings for all those businesses who do not wish to go online for this service. Electronic filing cuts down on the voluminous amount of paper needed during a traditional filing, saving the county and our taxpayers money. The county will also save on printing, packaging, and mailing costs. Fee collections will be improved since electronic payments will be accepted. Because business will be inputting their own information, accuracy will be also improved. This will all lead to higher customer satisfaction. As mentioned earlier, the e-filing system will be hosted and maintained by Monmouth County, which already hosts systems for 12 other New Jersey counties. It is being implemented in partnership with Monmouth County, ACS Servicing Company, and Sunrise Systems. Sunrise Systems actually is a firm right out of Metuchen. The system will accept new subscribers and accommodate the more than 700 submitters already registered in Monmouth County. We anticipate the system will be fully operational within 6 months. Training, which will be free of charge, will be implemented shortly. If anyone needs information on this, they can contact my IT person, which is Trish DeRose, at 732-745-3120. And I would also like to add that I would very much like to thank Khalid Anja from the IT department, who certainly, with all his work and my staff's work, made this a possibility and now a reality. Thank you very much. Any questions? I'd be happy to answer them.
Great job.
Okay, thank you.
I just want to mention something real quickly. This now represents the third shared service agreement we have with Monmouth County. Okay, and the presentation by Freeholder Rios regarding Middlesex County College. College will be joined by the president, Dr. Joanne LaPerla Morales.
Today was a great day. I joined college president Joanne LaPerla Morales and a few people from her administration and board members. Today was the anniversary celebration at the New Brunswick campus. 30 years ago, our predecessors had the foresight to have that college campus there in New Brunswick, and it's really a great thing to celebrate and a very proud moment for Middlesex County. And again, I think it's so important to recognize our former freeholders that took the initiative to get that campus. And it has enhanced many people's lives throughout the county, and in many cooperation with a lot of partners that have been involved. in that. I'd like to, on another note, I'd like to notify the board that I've been working on a project, and I've been sharing some of it with the director and the rest of the board. But a new initiative, Khalid, if you could, okay. Our Middlesex County Education Stimulus Program. I think it's important to realize that that we have a problem in this country with our jobs, and I want to let everyone know that we have to engage a lot of people in the workforce and educating them. So. Again, I've been working on this project for a while. I've had some help as well from our administration. And slide 2. The vision of the Middlesex County Education Stimulus Program is to establish a public-private partnership and have scholarships to 100 residents who will attend Middlesex County College. These scholarships will include full tuition, a voucher for books at the college bookstore, application fees, and counseling services. And we have, you've read in the papers where various private-public partnerships or private partnerships, and one namely just recently in September was Facebook founder Mark Zuckerberg announced his plan to provide $100 million for the improvement of the public school system in Newark. And in October, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation pledged $20 million in grants for businesses and universities to develop online programs to better train students in the basic skills that they need to thrive in college. And I feel that this is a great recruiting method for us to engage the private entities throughout our county, and hopefully we'll be able to encourage our private businesses within the county. I won't mention names who I would like to target, but in any event, hopefully it will encourage them to participate in this. For the spring of 2011 semester, this program will be focused on adults returning to or beginning college to complete a degree for increased employability. It will be available to students that meet the following requirements: a high school graduate who is at least 21 years old, has been laid off for more than 6 months from a full-time position, or whose job has become obsolete. And obviously we've been hearing more and more and seeing friends, family, co-workers, neighbors that have been losing their jobs, and we have to be aware and understand that they may have to be trained to take on a different career path. Today, Middlesex County College announced a partnership with the federal government to provide free counseling for adults with at least 31 college credits who wish to return to school to complete a degree. The counseling services at the college new Center for Adults Returning to Education will include support with the enrollment process, special workshops and tutoring, and bookstore vouchers. And if I remember correctly, that was a $75,000 grant through the federal government. And I think it's a great program, and it's part of the stimulus package. I would imagine that we would be able to educate our people throughout the country, and obviously, namely here in Middlesex County. The county's education stimulus program will expand the federal program by including funding for all students, regardless of how many college credits they have earned. As President Barack Obama said, community colleges are an essential part of our recovery in the present and our prosperity in the future. Through the county's education stimulus program, we hope to continue our commitment to providing opportunities for all students to attend our college and help build a solid future. Again, this is a program that's designed to help and stimulate people in an educational background and stimulate the economy, and for us to have our students, young or old, to be able to be competitive, whether it be Middlesex County, New Jersey, or the United States. So I think it's a great program. I hope that we have the support of the entire Freeholder Board and I will be working and advising the rest of the board on updates as we progress. And again, hopefully we'll have some big corporations that will want to get involved in this program. Joanne, if you would like to say a few words.
Thank you. I think I heard you say $100 million. Was that coming from the Freeholders to the college, John? No, as always, it's a pleasure to work with Freeholder Rios. And again, today was a very exciting day for us to acknowledge the 30 years that Middlesex County College has been in the city of New Brunswick. And the wonderful thing about being in the city of New Brunswick is that we truly partner with many of the agencies and the corporations here in New Brunswick. Are really proud to be part of that. I do have to leave for the Freeholders some explanation of that Center for Adults Returning to Education, the CARE program that we received the money from the federal government through the state. And we estimate that we have about 5,500 adults who have left college and have earned more than 31 credits. And if we can encourage them to come back and finish their degrees, they will be more employable and able to be citizens who will continue to pay taxes and live in Middlesex County. And we look forward to working with the Freeholder as we go forward. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Director.
Thank you. It certainly is it's a great initiative. Proclamations.
We have a few this evening. First is recognizing October 21st, 2010 as Lights On After School Day in Middlesex County. Next is recognizing October 2010 as Breast Cancer Awareness Month in Middlesex County. Next is recognizing November 2010 as Pancreatic Cancer Awareness Month in Middlesex County. And the last proclamation is recognizing November 18th, 2010 as National Adoption Day in Middlesex County.
I believe one of those was going to be presented tonight, the proclamation of Pancreatic Cancer Awareness Month.
I'm not sure if Mr. Weinstein is here.
Yes.
Yes.
Freeholder Rios.
Mr. Weinstein. Back in this past summer, we had a pancreatic cancer walk, and this was our second walk that we held, and it was in cooperation with our health department, and it was held in Roosevelt Park, and we had a great turnout. We raised some money, and it was targeted to go to the Cancer Institute of New Jersey. And I think it's important that we recognize and understand how important it is to bring awareness to pancreatic cancer. It took my mom's life, and I think it's so important that we understand the effects and how we can try to avoid this dreaded disease. Mr. Weinstein participated in the cancer walk, and I just want to, again, reiterate how important it is: exercise, a healthy diet, screenings, and hopefully we live a long, healthy life and to avoid this disease. And again, November is Pancreatic Cancer Awareness Month, and I just want to make sure that we educate our residents on how important it is. And I'd like to present Mr. Weinstein with this resolution. If you'd like to say a few words.
Members of the Freeholder Board, Freeholder Rios, distinguished guests, on behalf of the New Jersey affiliate of the Pancreatic Cancer Action Network, I want to thank you for this proclamation and the opportunity to address you tonight. Pancreatic Cancer Action Network is the only national organization that's working through many means for the good of patients, by patient support, research, outreach to communities, as well as advocacy. I am here tonight because not only am I an advocate, but I am a survivor. This November 26th, I will become one of those rare statistics, I will become a 5-year survivor. Only 6% of those who are diagnosed with pancreatic cancer survive over 5 years. So I am one of the lucky ones. Unfortunately, there are too many who are not that lucky. The facts about pancreatic cancer are horrendous, as Freeholder Rios lived firsthand and knows. There will be over 43,000 cases of pancreatic cancer diagnosed in 2010, and there will be over 36,000 deaths. Because there is no early detection methods, most patients die, 75% die within a year of diagnosis, and 50 within 6 months of diagnosis. The National Cancer Institute, which disperses the federal funds for cancer research, allocates only 2% to pancreatic cancer. Yet it's the 4th leading cause of cancer deaths in America. And not only is it bad now, it's projected to get even worse over the next 20 years, with new cases expected to rise by 55%. Okay. Not only did it affect myself and my family, Freeholder Rios, but it affects all of our families, friends, and neighbors in the community. I would like to thank the board again for issuing this proclamation declaring November as Pancreatic Cancer Awareness Month. And by doing this, you are helping us to reach the most important step along the way, and that's public awareness. Okay? Unfortunately, we only hear about it when a celebrity is diagnosed with it, such as Patrick Swayze or Justice Ginsburg, but it's all around us. Okay? Every one of you here can be an advocate for pancreatic cancer. I urge you to go to our website at www.pancan.org to see what you can do to help to bring awareness to the community as well as to Washington through action alerts to your congresspeople and your senators. And also, the New Jersey affiliate is going to be having their first Purple Stride March on November 7th in Parsippany to raise funds for pancreatic cancer. And I urge as many of you as possible to please attend and show support for our cause. If anyone would like to talk about this personally, you can talk to me afterwards, or you can reach me via email at mweinstein, WEINSTEIN, @pancanvolunteer.org. Again, thank you very much for this proclamation.
Commemorative resolutions?
Excuse me, there is another
Oh, there is?
proclamation for Lights On After School, Freeholder Valenti.
Sorry. Freeholder Valente?
I would like to call attention to the annual nationwide celebration of after-school programs that will take place October 21st in more than 7,500 communities. And I would like Dave Blevins to come forward. Dave, on behalf of the Board of Freeholders, I'm making this presentation to you. And this is important for whether we follow the lead of the National After School Alliance in partnership with the Federal Office of Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention and the United States Department of Education in spotlighting the after-school programs that keep children safe, inspire them to learn, and help working families. And whereas the After School Alliance recognizes individuals and organizations across the nation who believe that all children should have access to quality, affordable after-school program. And I know that you've been doing this in New Brunswick for many years. So Middlesex County has demonstrated a very deep commitment to after-school programs by providing support grants for the following programs: the Metuchen Board of Education, the Zone, Sayreville Board of Education, Good Works Foundation, MTC program, Piscataway Township Public School District, Haven, Milltown School District, the Book Nook program, and the Raritan Bay Area YMCA Families Fit Together. And we are proclaiming October 21st as Lights On After School Day in Middlesex County. And we call upon the citizens to support after-school programs and to recognize the program leaders, and you're certainly one of them. Congratulations. That's for you. Would you like to say something? A couple of words, if I may. Please do.
Thank you, Freeholders. And I want to recognize Freeholder Valenti for her strong support of the after-school programs throughout the county. As you know, she's the liaison to the Middlesex County Council for Children's Services, which is the body that, in fact, administers the funds that you have presented to these communities that are in the proclamation. Just a moment to also recognize former freeholder Jane Brady, who was really the driving force behind the beginning of the freeholder support for after-school programs for middle school youth. We have with us this evening also Sharon Bonfanti from the county, or from New Jersey Division of Youth and Family Services, Wanda Dillon from the County Council for Children's Services, part of the Human Services Department, and Ken Ortiz from Perth Amboy. Earlier this afternoon, I was in East Brunswick at the YMCA. They were having a celebration of Lights On After School. The Roosevelt School and Lord Sterling School in New Brunswick are also participating in this Lights On After School, as well as the communities that were in the proclamation. So I want to thank you very much for your support and recognize the people that I just identified. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Resolutions.
We have quite a few this evening. The first is recognizing Martin Luther King Elementary School in Edison and Lindcrest Elementary School in Colonia, as they have been selected as 2010 Blue Ribbon Schools by the United States Department of Education. Next is recognizing Mary Beth Sondergaard of Perth Amboy, as she has been named the National Center for Assisted Living Nurse of the Year. Next is recognizing the 100th anniversary of the Middlesex County Regional Chamber of Commerce and the following honorees: Allen and Stultz Company Incorporated, Public Service Electric and Gas Company, Bristol Myers Squibb, Robert Wood Johnson University Hospital, the Home News Tribune, Rutgers the State University, Johnson & Johnson, St. Peter's University Hospital, Pines Manor, the Star Ledger, Provident Bank, and the Saddam Insurance Agency. Next is recognizing the 100th anniversary of the New Jersey Commission for the Blind and Visually Impaired. Next is recognizing the 87th anniversary of the founding of the Republic of Turkey on October 29th. Next is recognizing Frank Meyer of the Township of Woodbridge for his 50-year membership in the Woodbridge Volunteer Fire Company. Next is recognizing Paul J. Sansone Jr. on the occasion of his 50th anniversary in the automobile business in Middlesex County. Next is recognizing the 30th anniversary of Middlesex County College, New Brunswick campus, recognizing the 24th Vito Racine Spinal Cord Dinner, and recognizing Tom Tighe as the honorary chairperson. Next is recognizing the Veterans of Foreign Wars Colonia Memorial Post 6061 on the 10th annual charity dinner dance benefiting the Make-A-Wish Foundation. Next is recognizing Paulette Crabio-Waller and Spotswood Police Sergeant Christopher Bierman, as they have been named the 2010 recipients of the Chamber Choice Award by the East Brunswick Chamber of Commerce Foundation. Next is recognizing James Ellick, as he is the 2010 recipient of the Paul Harris Award, as selected by the Rotary Club of Woodbridge, Perth Amboy. Next is recognizing Yvonne Torres, a former student of Middlesex County Vocational and Technical High School Piscataway campus, as she is named the 2010 Verizon Foundation Scholarship winner by the New Jersey Association of Counties Foundation. Excuse me. Next is recognizing James Benson of the Borough of Middlesex on the occasion of his retirement as police chief in the Borough of Middlesex. Next is recognizing Dan Beasley of the Borough of Carteret for his 30 years of service with the Carteret Office of Emergency Management. And last is recognizing Vernon Stewart of New Brunswick on the occasion of his retirement from the Department of Workforce Development.
I need a motion to adopt the resolutions. Motion by Deputy Director Rios, seconded by Freeholder Valente. Roll call, please.
Freeholder Barrett,
Yes.
Freeholder Delina,
Yes.
Freeholder Rios,
Yes.
Freeholder Scott,
Yes.
Freeholder Valenti,
Yes.
Freeholder Director Rafano.
Yes. Now I believe, Deputy Director, you're going to present the first resolution.
I'll do both together.
Oh, you want to do both together? Sure.
Blue ribbon.
From Martin Luther King School, Principal Diane Wilton,
We might as well do both of them.
and is Principal Scott Osborne of the Lindcrest School here? Yes.
You want to come up, Tom?
Oh, Mr. Osborne.
Hi, how are you? Hi, nice to see
Was
you.
he a good student when you went to Woodbridge? Kennedy. Oh, Kennedy, that's right.
I'd just like to bring attention to everyone here that our resolution that we're passing here tonight is for the Martin Luther King Elementary School in Edison. It's been selected as a 2010 Blue Ribbon School by the United States Department of Education. And this is the most prestigious education award in the country. And it distinguishes the Martin Luther King Elementary School and also the Lindcrest Elementary School in Colonia. And this is something very special. I mean, this is not every school gets this. And what's interesting is that they join a list of 8 schools in New Jersey which have received this award and 254 schools nationwide. So it's really a proud moment for us. And representatives from the schools will attend a ceremony in Washington, D.C., where they will be congratulated and commended for their efforts in achieving this goal. So congratulations to both of you, and we're very proud for your accomplishments that you have been able to do and making our county very proud. Congratulations. If you'd like to say a few words, maybe.
Chairman Rafano and the Board of Chosen Freeholders, on behalf of Martin Luther King Elementary School's learning community, I thank you for recognizing our staff, parents, and most of all students for receiving the honor as being noted as a National Blue Ribbon School for Excellence in Education. We are thrilled to represent Edison Township, Middlesex County, as well as the state of New Jersey during the recognition ceremony in Washington, D.C. As one of 254 public schools and approximately 50 other private schools throughout the United States, the District of Columbia, and Puerto Rico, we were selected as a Blue Ribbon School. We are so very humbled to receive this award. It is through the dedication of the MLK staff who continually are committed to afford students every opportunity to fulfill their optimal potential, and partnered that with parents' involvement, which blesses me each day. Once again, I thank you for recognizing our achievement in education. Thank you so much.
Mr. Director, can I say just a few words? Mr. Osborne's father was a good friend of mine. He was the top coach in the state of New Jersey for 4 or 5 years, and his name was Beanie Osborne, and he was a great guy. You ought to be proud of him. He's a good man.
Thanks.
Could I recognize one of my staff members, Mrs. Frances Imparato, who also helped in writing the application when we were nominated to apply?
Mary Beth? Mary Beth is the daughter and stepdaughter of Mary and Dave Crabiel. And she received a terrific recognition, and we have this resolution, and it lays out what that was for. Actually, they awarded it to you out in California, right?
Correct.
Had to go out to California. So it's a national award. Whereas it has come to the attention of the Middlesex County Board of Chosen Freeholders that Mary Beth Sondergaard is worthy of special recognition as she has been selected as the 2010 National Center for Assisted Living Nurse of the Year and was honored at a luncheon on October 10, 2010 in Long Beach, California. And whereas Mary Beth Sondergaard has worked at Heritage at Clara Barton in Edison for 6 years and has over 19 years of nursing experience. Under Mary Beth Sondergaard's leadership, the center has achieved 5 deficiency-free surveys over the last 6 years and has reduced employee turnover from 91% to 15.5%. And whereas Mary Beth Sondergaard, resident care director, also provides assistance to other Genesis communities, hands-on leadership, project management, and orientation during times of leadership transition. And whereas Mary Beth Sondergaard conducts the health assessments for the facility's 90 residents, as well as supervising the staff of 21, and the distribution of medication for residents through medication aids. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of Chosen Freeholders of the County of Middlesex that we do hereby recognize and congratulate Mary Beth Sondergaard as she receives the 2010 National Center for Assisted Living Nurse of the Year Award. Mary Beth.
Okay, it's not as easy for me to talk as it was for my father, but I prepared a little something. Okay, to be present during a Middlesex County Freeholder meeting is a little emotional for me, but it also brings to my mind some very happy memories. While receiving my proclamation from Edison Township, Mayor Risigliano said, "I was following in my father's footsteps and he would be proud of me." I don't know about following in his footsteps, but the advice and guidance he gave to me in regard to my nursing career always gives me a great sense of pride with the choice I made. Excuse me. David B. Crabiel influenced me to be sincere, to be a strong leader, have commitment, and to be passionate with the care I provide to my seniors at Clara Barton. Working at Clara Barton Assisted Living Community in Edison is a very rewarding career. I am able to provide choice, dignity, independence, and autonomy for our elderly population, and at the same time offering them a place to live where they feel safe, where they feel love, happiness, and secure with the people that assist them on a daily basis. I remain extremely humble in receiving my award from the National Committee of Assisted Living and hope to have many more years committed to what I love to do. And lastly, I would like to thank the Board of Chosen Freeholders of Middlesex County for this honor and for recognizing my award. Thank you.
Mary Beth, yes, excuse me. Mary Beth, I just would like to say one thing. Through my years as a union rep, and I sat across from Dave Crabiel many, many times, I don't think there was one contract that he didn't mention you with great pride and how important nurses were. And so I have to thank you because you made my job a lot easier doing those contracts. Your father was very, very proud of you.
Correspondence?
Each freeholder has been provided with a list of correspondence received by the clerk's office since our last meeting. This correspondence will be kept on file in the office of the clerk of the board for reference.
I need a motion to accept the correspondence.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Deputy Director Rios, seconded by Freeholder Valente. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. A motion to accept the minutes of the October 7th, 2010 Freeholders meeting.
Second.
Motion by Deputy Director Rios, seconded by Freeholder Valente. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Now, reports of freeholders.
She's trying to find her phone.
Excuse me, and I'm sorry.
Are you, okay. Freeholder Carol Barrett. Report.
I would like to say that that was a very important phone call. And I was expecting and I had to leave my phone on, but that would be an untruth, so. I'm going to blame it on Charlie Carley, that he didn't realize that it's a freeholders meeting. I'm very proud tonight. On tonight's agenda, there is an agreement between the Middlesex County Housing and Community Development Office and Carteret Housing Development Corp. under the Federal Home Investment Partnerships Program. This project will rehabilitate an existing building and which will be used for four, and I repeat, four affordable two-bedroom apartments for low-income veterans. Each apartment will be ADA adaptable, including one that will also feature an exterior wheelchair lift. And I want to have to give my personal thanks once again to the department head, Paul Buckley. You're doing a great job, and thank you for everything, for assisting the residents of Middlesex County. Thank you, Paul.
Thank you, Freeholder. Freeholder Delina.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. I want to mention that our 18th annual indoor children musical, Stuart Little, was on stage at our Stephen J. Capestro Theater in Roosevelt Park for 5 weekends and the last Sunday of the month. All 10 performances were sold out, and we got excellent response from our audience. The play was presented on the theater stage, which is enclosed and heated for the comfort of our actors and audience. These children musicals have been extremely successful in providing high-quality family entertainment in a cozy atmosphere at a nominal fee. I am very like to bring our attention that the action by the board at the last meeting awarding the contract for the creation of Middlesex County Greenway. We received very good reports from the residents of the area of the county. I have been closely associated with the project from the time it first started in 1997, through the years of negotiations, permit approval, and now we have, at this point, we can start actual construction. The Greenway, which runs through the Township of Edison, the Borough of Metuchen, and the Township of Woodbridge, will be a great addition to our park system and also a wonderful recreation, environmental education opportunities for the residents of Middlesex County. While I'm on the subject of environmentalists, I would like to remind the public that Middlesex County Conservation Corps will be holding a fall beach sweep on Saturday, October 23rd at the Old Bridge Waterfront Park from 9 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. If you'd like to have additional information about this event, check the county website, and you can call Valerie Leone at 732-745-3064, and I thank you. Okay, Mr. Phillips?
Fine, I'll see you there, Freeholder.
Thank you, Freeholder. Deputy Director Rios?
Yes, as far as my Public Health Department report goes, we are offering our influenza immunizations for all Middlesex County residents 6 months or older. If anyone needs any information, please contact the Health Department at 732-745-4344. As far as our Environmental Health Division, our water pollution program is nearing the completion of another season of surface water sampling. Our vocational school report is our students have participated in nationwide celebration of Constitution Day with various activities throughout the various campuses. We are also celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month from September 15th through October 15th with various activities throughout the various campuses. And one of them was the Spanish National Honor Society honored Officer Richard Rodriguez, a 9/11 hero, as an outstanding Hispanic individual. The Academy for Science, Mathematics, and Engineering Technology had 12 students that have been named commended students in the 2010-2011 National Merit Scholarship Program. We also had 3 other students have been recognized as semifinalists for the 2010-2011 National Merit Scholarship Program. We also had Taylor Lacey has been recognized as an outstanding participant for the 2010-2011 National Achievement Scholarship for Outstanding High School Black American Students. Our vocational school, our county college really works hard in educating our students, and we really get a lot of students that really excel. As far as the Rutgers Extension Services, the Garden for the Hungry at the Earth Centers produced over 4,000 pounds of produce for Elijah's Promise and other area soup kitchens. Our 4-H program continues to grow, and we participated in a Mexican festival in New Brunswick, an open house at the beginning of October. Our annual 4-H Teen Council's Haunted House will be held every Friday and Saturday evening in October. The 2010-2011 Middlesex County Master Gardener Program has over 50 participants between the day and evening programs. We've had over 7 acres of switchgrass bioenergy research that was established at the Earth Center. The results of this research will be shared with Middlesex County farmers and other organizations looking to manage open space to improve the environment and reduce management costs. And that concludes my report, Director. Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Director. Freeholder Scott.
Thank you, Freeholder Director. I'd like to report on October 9th, the Middlesex County and Somerset County Offices of Emergency Management, also known as OEM, teamed up with the Old Bridge Township OEM and Cedarville OEM to host a dual county community emergency response team, also known as CERT, exercises in Middlesex County Fire Academy in Cedarville. CERT programs are made up of volunteers who agree to help their communities prepare for and respond to all types of disasters through training, education, and other volunteer services. The day-long service exercise involves 16 teams in Middlesex County and Somerset counties, as well as each Medical Reserve Corps, and was comprised of 2 different scenarios. In the morning session, teams worked together on a mass area missing person search. In the afternoon, they took part in the building collapse scenario where they had to locate or triage victims. And as chairperson of the county's Law and Public Safety Committee, I cannot underscore enough the importance of emergency preparation and planning. And I'm proud and very thankful to all the volunteers and members of community emergency response teams for their participation in this exercise and their willingness to help others, their neighbors, and their communities. Having trained individuals prepared and ready to assist can make all the difference during a state of emergency. And I want to thank Freeholder Director Rafano for being part of this event. And I also am pleased to report that juvenile offenders who have attended Middlesex County's Youth Development Academy, also known as boot camp, have fared well since the family court ordered their participation in this innovative program. According to a report recently compiled by the Middlesex County Prosecutor's Office, 78% of the 341 juveniles who have completed the program since its inception in the fall of 2003 have stayed out of trouble. Of the 78% who have not become reoffenders as adults, 82% also had no juvenile record following their graduation from the Youth Development Academy. This would suggest that individuals are less likely to reoffend as an adult after graduating from the Youth Development Academy. And this survey was completed through a review of each graduating class between the fall of 2003 and the spring of 2010. It should be noted that members of the Middlesex County Prosecutor's Office, the Middlesex County Sheriff's Office, the Middlesex County Department of Corrections, and the Juvenile Detention Center have dedicated times as instructors and work with juveniles whom the family courts have deemed worthy of another chance improving their lives. 2 boot camps are held each year. Each 6-weekend course programs draws 25 to 30 juveniles who are driven to the Youth Services Center in North Brunswick to undergo rigorous training, discipline, all designed to help them to learn to avoid further escapes of the law. I find these statistics heartening as they show that Middlesex County remains and maintains a commitment to troubled youngsters and offers them hope of finding a better way of living their lives. Thank you.
Thank you, Freeholder. Freeholder Valente?
Thank you, Freeholder Director. If you see on page 10, there's a number of resolutions that deal with the Department of Human Services, and especially in the area of the after-school programs, which I think that these are prevention programs for kids that might get into trouble after school and there's no one home. There's quite a few of them, and I'm proud to say that they are our various communities in Middlesex County are sharing with us these programs, and we can be proud that they're all cooperating with the Department of Human Services, especially the Council on Children's Services. I have the honor of co-chairing that council with Judge Roger Daly at the Middlesex County Juvenile and Family Court. And this is something that is extremely important because juvenile delinquency will exist when children are not busy, when they don't have a goal, and unfortunately that happens more often than we want. I want to thank also the Department of Aging. Yesterday we honored our counselors that counsel our aged seniors, and we recognize them every year at a luncheon. And that's the end of my report.
Thank you, Freeholder. A couple things to report on. Tonight on the agenda, we have a resolution accepting additional stimulus money in the amount of $692,000. That's earmarked for training dislocated workers. That is in addition to the $2.9 million we'd gotten of stimulus money. This additional money will enable us to train 173 dislocated workers who need better and/or different skills to get back into the workforce. All told, once the program is finished, which is June 30th of 2011, we would have trained at least 500 residents with new skills to get back into the job market. So that's good news. I attended a number of events these past week or so, just to highlight a few. Last Saturday, the level playing fields in East Brunswick at Heavenly Farms, they cut the ribbon on that field. We contributed money to not only the field, but also the acquisition of the property. It was really a nice day. You could see how excited the kids were to be able to play on that field, and it gives them great opportunities. So it was a nice day. I was there with Freeholder Scott. Also attended the dedication of the new Plainsboro Public Library. The county had given them a sustainability grant for $100,000 to help them in that process. It really is an impressive library. It's right down in their village center, and it's something to see. Also attended the 100th anniversary of the Middlesex County Regional Chamber of Commerce. Our own Jane Brady is a member of the dinner committee, and there was at least 350 people, maybe 400 people there at the Hyatt. It was very well attended. I spoke on behalf of the board and presented resolutions to 12 businesses that they were honoring that they've been up and running for at least 100 years. So it was a great event. And today I was at the Robert Noble Manor, which is in South Amboy, which is low-income housing for seniors. The county did contribute toward those costs, and it was a nice, grand opening, and it's really a nice facility. So that's also good news for the seniors in South Amboy. And last, I received another audit. My meetings in the past, I've announced we've received audits for different departments as is required. I received the audit from the federal and state grants. They monitor our federal and state grants that we receive. And once again, we received a letter saying there's no further or no corrective action plan required, so we're doing everything right. That's good news. That's all I have. Okay, we have to deviate from the regular order of business to conduct 4 public hearings, introduce 2 ordinances, and confirm adoption of an ordinance. You ready, Margaret?
Resolution 10-1680. This public hearing was advertised in the Home News Tribune on October 11, 2010, and authorized at a meeting of the Board of Chosen Freeholders held October 7, 2010.
The clerk will read Resolution 10-1680 by title only.
Authorized public hearing to be held on Thursday, October 21st, 2010, at 7 p.m. in the Freeholders Meeting Room regarding Public Housing Agency's annual plan for 2011.
At this point, I declare the public hearing open. Anyone from the public?
Motion to close.
Second.
Motion by Deputy Director Rios, seconded by Freeholder Valente. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it.
Next is
yes.
ordinance 392. Notice of this public hearing was published in the Home News Tribune on October 11, 2010. This public hearing was authorized at a meeting of the Board of Chosen Freeholders held October 7, 2010.
The clerk will read ordinance number 392 by title only.
Refunding bond ordinance of the County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey, the county, providing for, 1, the refunding of certain outstanding general obligation bonds of the county to achieve debt service savings, and 2, authorizing the issuance of not to exceed $38 million aggregate principal amount of general obligation refunding bonds of the county to effect such refunding and appropriating the proceeds therefore, and authorizing the public hearing to be held on Thursday, October 21st, 2010 at 7 p.m. and publication thereof.
At this point in time, I declare the public hearing open. Anyone from the public?
Motion to close.
Second.
Motion by Deputy Director Rios, seconded by Freeholder Valente. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. I need a motion to adopt ordinance number 392 on final reading.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Deputy Director Rios, seconded by Freeholder Valente. Roll call.
Freeholder Barrett,
Yes.
Freeholder Delina,
Yes.
Freeholder Rios,
Yes.
Freeholder Scott,
Yes.
Freeholder Valenti,
Yes.
Freeholder Director Rafano.
Yes. Now, ordinance number 10-04.
Notice of this public hearing was published in the Home News Tribune on October 11, 2010. This public hearing was authorized at a meeting of the Board of Chosen Freeholders held October 7, 2010.
The clerk will read ordinance number 10-04 by title only.
A loan ordinance of the County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey, approving and authorizing the entering into, execution, and delivery of an amendment to the loan agreement with the Middlesex County Improvement Authority, the Authority, relating to the issuance of county-guaranteed capital improvement revenue refunding bonds, Series 2010 by the Authority, and authorizing a public hearing to be held Thursday, October 21st, 2010 at 7 p.m., and authorizing publication thereof.
At this point in time, I declare the public hearing open. Anyone from the public?
Motion to close.
Second.
Motion by Deputy Director Rios, seconded by Freeholder Valente. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Need a motion to adopt ordinance number 10-04 on final reading.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Deputy Director Rios, seconded by Freeholder Valente. Roll call.
Freeholder Barrett,
Yes.
Freeholder Delina,
Yes.
Freeholder Rios.
Yes.
Freeholder Scott.
Yes.
Freeholder Valenti,
Yes.
Freeholder Director Rafano.
Yes. Now, ordinance number 10-05.
Notice of this public hearing was published in the Home News Tribune on October 11, 2010. This public hearing was authorized at a meeting of the Board of Chosen Freeholders held October 7, 2010.
Clerk will read ordinance number 10-05 by title only.
An ordinance authorizing the guarantee by the County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey, of the payment of principal of and interest on the county-guaranteed capital improvement revenue refunding bonds issued by the Middlesex County Improvement Authority in an aggregate principal amount not to exceed $4 million in bonds issued for the purpose of refunding the outstanding and callable capital improvement revenue bonds, Series 1999, and authorizing a public hearing to be held Thursday, October 21st, 2010, at 7 p.m., and authorizing publication thereof.
I declare the public hearing open.
Motion to close.
Second.
Motion by Deputy Director Rios, seconded by Freeholder Valente. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. One quick item on this ordinance. What do we figure the actual savings to us by refinancing those? Yes.
Thank you, Director. John Cantalupo from Mullens, Goldman and Spitzer, your bond attorney. You have several refundings on your agenda this evening, two of which you just did final adoption of ordinances, and you've introduced a couple that will come forward in a minute. I'll go over each refunding. The first refunding is the MCI capital improvement refunding, which will save the county taxpayers approximately $1,135,000 in debt service savings. That is on your agenda 1004 and 1005. You have your regular general obligation refunding, which is of the county. That will save the county somewhere between $1.6 and $1.8 million in debt service savings. That is ordinance number 392. Both of those ordinances, all three of those ordinances, we went to the local finance board and received unanimous approval on their consent agenda in Trenton to go forward with those refundings because of the debt service savings to the county and to the county taxpayers. Additionally, on your agenda this evening, you have an open space refunding, which will generate approximately $2 million in savings for your open space fund. Once you have that, we issued bonds originally back in 2003 that enabled the county to acquire open space and preserve land and farmland, and you're able to now do debt service savings on that and have an additional $2 million in savings for the county that you can use for other acquisitions and other park improvements and things like that in the county. Additionally, I was here on Monday evening to discuss the Civic Square 2 refunding that we're going to go forward with. If you approve the resolutions this evening, those resolutions are on the last page. That is for this very building, the U.S. Post Office across the street, and the prosecutor's office and New Brunswick Public Safety Building. That was originally done back in 1998, and that is called the Civic Square 2 financing. That refinancing of that building will give the county taxpayers and the county $6.5 million in present value savings. Over the life of the issue, that's approximately $8.5 million in savings if we go forward with that. Per Freeholder Polos's request, we have inserted into the resolution a paragraph that says that we will not go forward until we review the ability to purchase the facility from the lease purchase transaction and see if that makes economic sense and savings for the county. And we anticipate coming back to you on November 22nd for final approval to either go forward with this refinancing to save $6.5 million or to go forward with another financing to actually purchase the facility. But we will come back. But in the meantime, this will enable us to get moving and attack the market to take advantage. As everybody knows, it's a very low interest rate environment. It's a time to refinance like other people are refinancing their mortgages. Have they ever done so? Governmental entities such as yourself are also refinancing, and that's why we're getting this done tonight so we can go ahead and move forward with that transaction. If we determine it's a good transaction, we'll move forward with it on November 22nd.
Just some quick calculation figures to be about approximately $10 million of savings if we
Yeah, absolutely. Or slightly more than that, probably more around the 11 million range. And we try to give conservative estimates at these meetings, and we're hopeful that when we get to market, they're much better. But we also don't want to overestimate and come back with our tail between our legs and say to you all that savings weren't quite what they were. So we're always very conservative. So these are conservative numbers.
Certainly good news for the taxpayers in Middlesex County.
Absolutely, 100%.
Okay. I need a motion to adopt ordinance 10-05 on final reading.
So moved. Second.
Motion by Deputy Director Rios, seconded by Freeholder Valente. Roll call.
Freeholder Barrett?
Yes.
Freeholder Delina?
Yes.
Freeholder Rios?
Yes.
Freeholder Scott?
Yes.
Freeholder Valenti?
Yes.
Freeholder Director Rafano?
Yes. Ordinance 10-06.
Ordinance of the Board of Chosen Freeholders of the County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey, approving and authorizing the entering into, execution, delivery, and performance of a loan and security agreement with the Middlesex County Improvement Authority, the Authority, relating to the issuance of county-guaranteed open space trust fund revenue refunding bonds by the Authority in an aggregate principal amount not to exceed $58 million, pledging monies in the open space trust fund therefore, and authorizing a public hearing to be held on November 22nd, 2010 at 7 p.m., and authorizing publication thereof.
I need a motion to adopt ordinance number 10-06 on first reading.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Deputy Director Rios, seconded by Freeholder Valente. Roll call.
Freeholder Barrett?
Yes.
Freeholder Delina?
Yes.
Freeholder Rios?
Yes.
Freeholder Scott?
Yes.
Freeholder Valenti?
Yes.
Freeholder Director Rafano?
Yes. Next is ordinance number 10-07.
An ordinance authorizing the guarantee by the County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey, of Open Space Trust Fund revenue refunding bonds issued by the Middlesex County Improvement Authority in an aggregate principal amount not to exceed $58 million in bonds issued for the purpose of refunding the outstanding and callable county-guaranteed Open Space Trust Fund revenue bonds, Series 2003, and authorizing a public hearing to be held thereon on November 22nd, 2010 at 7 p.m. and authorizing publication thereof.
Need a motion to adopt ordinance number 10-07 on first reading?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Deputy Director Rios, seconded by Freeholder Valente. Roll call.
Freeholder Barrett,
Yes.
Freeholder Delina,
Yes.
Freeholder Rios.
Yes.
Freeholder Scott.
Yes.
Freeholder Valenti,
Yes.
Freeholder Director Rafano.
Yes. Next is Resolution 10-1811. Clerk will read Resolution 10-1811 by
She
title
still
only.
has a voice.
Authorize adoption upon second reading of county ordinance providing for county enforcement of the New Jersey Uniform Fire Safety Act, NJSA 52:27D through 192 et sec, and the New Jersey Uniform Fire Code, NJAC 5:70 et sec, upon second reading.
I now open the public portion on Resolution 10-1811 only. Anybody from the public?
Motion to close.
Second.
Motion by Deputy Director Rios, seconded by Freeholder Valente. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Need a motion to adopt Resolution number 10-1811.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Deputy Director Rios, seconded by Freeholder Valente. Roll call.
Freeholder Barrett,
Yes.
excuse me, Freeholder Delina,
Yes.
Freeholder Rios.
Yes.
Freeholder Scott.
Yes.
Freeholder Valenti,
Yes.
Freeholder Director Rafano.
Yes. I need a motion to resume the regular order of business.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Deputy Director Rios, seconded by Freeholder Valente. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Ayes have it. Okay, Mr. Kelso, you're on.
Yes, freeholders, we have one resolution proposed for amendment. That's Resolution 10-1805, which is on page 4. This is one item change to the personnel list, which is dated October 21st, 2010, with an added name in the county clerk's office.
Okay.
And we'll need a,
I need a motion to amend.
Second.
Motion by Deputy Director Rios, seconded by Freeholder Valente. Roll call.
Freeholder Barrett,
Yes.
Freeholder Delina,
Yes.
Freeholder Rios,
Yes.
Freeholder Scott.
Yes.
Freeholder Valenti,
Yes.
Freeholder Director Rafano.
Yes.
and Director, we have no resolutions to be added, to be held, or to be voided.
Okay, at this time, I'd like to open the meeting up for public discussion on resolution items only. Remember, there's a 5-minute limit. Anybody from the public on resolutions? Oh, Mr. Stewart.
Richard Stewart, New Brunswick. Just a question on the personnel report, 1805. You have the temporary, the musicians. How are they compensated? It doesn't say anything here.
They are paid by union scale, and there's an hourly rate based on the union scale, and depending on how much time they actually work, but it is by contract.
Thank you.
Anybody else in the public? Yes, sir. On resolution items only. Okay.
Motion to close.
Second.
Motion by Deputy Director Rios, seconded by Freeholder Valente. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Does any freeholder have any resolution that they wish to remove from the consent agenda and vote on separately?
I do, Freeholder Director, Resolution 10-1839.
39, you said, Freeholder?
1839,
Okay.
yes.
I have one 10-1797. Anybody else? Okay, Mr. Kelso.
Yes, Director, a motion would now be in order to adopt the consent agenda consisting of resolution numbers 10-1776 through 10-1876, including resolution 10-1463, which was previously held, excluding resolutions 10-1776, 10-1779, and 10-1811, which were previously voted upon, and resolutions 10-1839 and 10-1797 to be voted upon separately.
Okay. Any motion?
Motion for the adoption.
Any
Second.
Motion by Deputy Director Rios, seconded by Freeholder Valente. Roll call.
Freeholder Barrett.
Yes.
Freeholder Delina.
Yes.
Freeholder Rios.
Yes.
Freeholder Scott.
Yes.
Freeholder Valenti.
Yes.
Freeholder Director Rafano.
Yes.
And now, Director, it would be appropriate to consider the resolution which was excluded by Freeholder Valenti. That's Resolution 10-1839.
Any motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Deputy Director Rios, seconded by Freeholder Barrett. Roll call.
Freeholder Barrett.
Yes.
Freeholder Delina.
Yes.
Freeholder Rios.
Yes.
Freeholder Scott.
Yes.
Freeholder Valenti.
Present not voting.
Freeholder Director Rafano.
Yes.
And now, finally, it would be appropriate to consider the resolution which was excluded by the Director, and that's Resolution 10-1797.
Need a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Deputy Director Rios, seconded by Freeholder Valente. Roll call.
Freeholder Barrett.
Yes.
Freeholder Delina.
Yes.
Freeholder Rios.
Yes.
Freeholder Scott.
Yes.
Freeholder Valenti.
Yes.
Freeholder Director Rafano.
Present, not voting. Okay, at this time, I'd like to open the meeting to the public on any item. Remember, there's a 5-minute rule. Yes, sir? Hi. Just, you have to state your name and your address.
Good evening. Freeholder Director Rafano, County Administrator Palomina, and members of the board. My name is Jim Walsh. I'm the New Jersey Director for Food and Water Watch. And I am here tonight to urge the county to introduce a resolution opposing a liquid natural gas facility off the New Jersey coast and proposed pipeline that would come through the county. Food and Water Watch works to ensure that food, water, and fish that we consume is safe, accessible, and sustainably produced. We promote policies that maintain environmental quality of the oceans and restore and resources. As sources of food, it's important not to misuse it by creating massive factory fish farms, operating dangerous oil platforms, or creating policies that lead to privatization of ocean resources. This summer, Food and Water Watch worked with our allies to pass resolutions in Middlesex County towns against the proposed LNG plans. As a result of this organizing, Edison, Perth Amboy, Highland Park, and the Woodbridge Environmental Commissions all unanimously passed resolutions opposing the proposed LNG plans and urging the New Jersey legislature to do the same. The action taken by these municipal bodies reflects the will of voters who are also concerned with the proposed LNG plans. Through the course of this organizing, we heard many concerns for the New Jersey shore, pipeline safety, as we've seen with the recent gas explosion in California and earlier this year in Edison. There's also concerns about global warming and our reliance on fossil fuels, the negative impact that LNG could have on fishing in coastal communities. And the dangers to LNG go far beyond that of a spill or an explosion. The routine operation of LNG facilities can kill sea life as large ballasts are filled with seawater to offset the weight of gas as it's transferred from ship to pipeline. Fishing grounds will be restricted to make room for passage of huge ships the size of multiple football fields. And it's not the ocean that would be damaged. If it is not the ocean that will be damaged, these ships can cause air pollution. They contribute to climate change, which is the likely culprit of massive fish kills we saw this summer in South Jersey and also in Massachusetts. We're also concerned about the facility is being proposed as a way to import natural gas into the country. This may be true, but we're concerned that long-term this infrastructure will be used to export natural gas from the U.S. And this is particularly concerning because the practice of hydrofracking, which is mining natural gas by mixing literally millions of gallons of water with sand and chemicals that are pumped into the ground and release gas deposits held in shale formations. And this is threatening drinking water for millions of New Jersey residents. In fact, the Delaware River is considered one of the most threatened waterways in the country because of hydrofracking. And it's a drinking water source for over 13 million people. I won't go into detail about hydrofracking because it's not why I'm here today, but it's a serious concern. As a country, our energy future is at a crossroads, and the path we choose for our energy future today will impact us for future generations. Every dollar that we invest in energy resources that have the potential to destroy our water, oceans, and communities takes us further down a dangerous road. If we invest in infrastructure for LNG, we'll best be investing in an energy system that will be abandoned when we realize the mistakes we made. And at worst, this investment can lead to irreparable damage to our oceans and our drinking water. I'm here tonight to urge you to follow the lead of the municipalities in Middlesex County and pass a resolution that will make a strong statement that the safety of New Jersey communities, the health of our oceans, and drinking water are more valuable than the profits of multi-million-dollar corporations. Thank you for your time, and I brought copies of the resolutions that were passed by the municipalities and a copy of my statement for the members of the Freeholder Board tonight. I thank you very much for your time and consideration of this important resolution.
Thank you.
Good timing.
And you can take one of those and pass it down.
Sure.
Pass it down. Thank you very much.
Anybody else? in the public?
I have to apologize. I have a cold, so I'm a little under the weather. Good evening. My name is Karina Wilkinson. I'm from Highland Park, and I'm working with Jim Walsh at Food and Water Watch. And this summer, when I worked on getting the Highland Park Borough to pass the resolution, the anti-LNG resolution, I wanted just to bring you a couple quotes. So one was from my councilman, John Erickson, who said, "I and others in Highland Park are concerned with the potential damage that would be caused by construction of pipelines through the Raritan Bay and the possibility of more leaks and explosions from land-based pipelines. I am committed to both restoring the Raritan River watershed and to promoting green renewable energy." Perth Amboy is likely to be one of the first towns directly affected if Liberty Gas gets their approval for these offshore LNG facilities. And Mayor Wilda Diaz said, "I am extremely concerned with these pipelines being considered for construction in the heart of the city, passing through our children's schools and our residential areas. The potential danger it could bring to our residents is something I'm not willing to risk. There's no benefit of this construction." And I've been reading the coverage following the San Bruno, California explosion last month, and there are two issues that have been brought up in the reporting that I find extremely disturbing. One is the safety advocates are pointing out that the federal agency in charge of the ensuring safety of gas pipelines, it's called the Pipeline and Hazardous Materials Safety Administration, only has 100 inspectors nationwide. So there's a large reliance on the industry to inspect and police itself. Second is that the emergency plans for pipeline explosions are not required to be made public. So Congress looks over the plans but does not have the industry submit the plans to the oversight agency or require to make them public. So those two things make I think should give us pause in the fact that if we're constructing new gas pipelines through Middlesex County, they aren't even overseeing and inspecting the pipelines that we already have in adequate measure, according to some. Also, before retiring from Perth Amboy's as Director of Economic and Community Development, Mike Keller told the Home News, and he was speaking about the proposed Liberty Pipeline, "All I know is it should not be in our backyard." And Fire Chief Volk from Perth Amboy said, "I do not want it in my front yard, my side yard, or my neighbor's yard. It's an accident waiting to happen." So Chief Volk's department was one that responded to the 1994 Edison Durham Woods explosion and fire. That was a fire that probably you're familiar with. It could be seen from New York City. So we're just here saying that we need to make a commitment to clean, renewable sources of energy, and we urge you to follow the lead of the communities in Middlesex County that have passed anti-LNG resolutions, and to hear the call of Perth Amboy, which is asking for other legislative bodies to do the same as they did and call for or pass a resolution that would say no to these oil and gas companies that want to bring LNG through our county. Thanks.
Thank you. Anybody else in the public? Yes, sir.
Hello, Freeholders. It's my first meeting. It's a pleasure and an honor to be here, and I appreciate the opportunity to address you about what I think is a really important issue. I'm here, of course, with my friend Jim Walsh about the proposed pipeline through the northern part of our county, and I just wanted to say that I think...
Can we have your name and address?
Oh, I apologize. Charles Cradaville, and I live in New Brunswick.
Okay.
I think that, we can't allow another disaster to happen. one that could affect our schools or residential communities that this pipeline would run near. I don't think there is any place in the county for this type of development, and I strongly encourage you guys to come out against it. I thank you so much, and I look forward to working with the freeholders to make the county a better place, and I will be here at future meetings.
Thanks. Anybody else in the public?
Motion to close.
Second.
Motion by Deputy Director Rios, seconded by Freeholder Valente. I need a motion to adjourn the meeting. Motion by Freeholder Valente. I need a second.
Second.
Second by Deputy Director Rios. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Meeting adjourned.